Hello, what's up, boys? It's Rav. I am finally back after a month of not having Wi-Fi. I already put up one video, but someone said I need to be making more guides, and I realized I've been putting this one off because I just haven't been playing my Operative very much. But yeah, today we're going to go into my Concealment Operative PvP guide and build. So let's get started. So first we're going to go over set bonus and tactical because obviously that's the most important thing for any build. And I have a habit of forgetting in my videos, so I'm going to do that first. So I'm using the debilitators set for the reduced time on your exfiltrate, which is your roll, and you get 2 hard stuns out of that, which is amazing. That makes you really hard to kill. What was the other set was a tactician's set. A lot of people still use that, and I'm honestly amazed that people still use that for concealment. Like I can see you using it if it's if you're like on a raid team or like playing the other spec, which I'm not gonna be covering lethality at all. I don't understand lethality. I don't know why anyone would want to play a class that does not have burst like at all. I don't know. It's just gross to me. And yeah. I'm also not going to cover healing operative. My good friend Sass is probably going to be covering that on her YouTube channel. I believe it's Sass Gaming. It's probably not out yet, but she is working on it from what I know. So yeah, go throw her a follow or a subscribe, whatever it is. I don't know. And yeah. So the tactical I'm using is going to be the Volatile Strike. If you're not using this as concealment in PvP, you might need to get checked out to an insane asylum because this is kind of like necessary for concealment PvP. Another note. There are not a lot of cool blaster rifles, but I really like this one. It's the Kingpin's blaster rifle from whatever the Narshada event is that I believe is going on right now, but might be done. Not entirely sure. Another thing is stats. So you do want the 5% accuracy because tanks are going to debuff you by 5%, so you're still going to have your 100% accuracy. Even though most of your damage is kinetic, you're still going to get that accuracy debuff from tanks. Not all tanks will be spreading their debuffs and stuff, but if it was against me, like you would have reduced accuracy like instantly. My alacrity is at 10%. I feel like when you're just going ham on the DPS, your energy runs out pretty quickly, and that's why I have the 10% alacrity. Give me just a second to get comfortable here. I don't have the best setup right at the present moment. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing a scoundrel video, by the way. I have one. It's at like cell level 60 or something. But I really don't like the way it plays, the way it feels, and I hate the sounds that it makes. For the sucker punch. So I'm not going to be doing a scoundrel video because that's gross. Let me go into the amplifiers. So I don't have the correct amplifiers on right now because it's very hard to keep your credits in this game because I am trying to gear, like one of every single, class basically, because I don't like playing just one thing. I like to play a bunch of things. But yeah, so I spend my credits, faster than I make them. Like I can have 80 mil credits one day, and then like 2 minutes later, I have like 12k credits, because it is what it is. But anyway, going back into amplifiers. So all of your damage, and what I'm going to show you in a minute, is like pretty much kinetic damage. So what you actually want for your amplifiers is armor penetration, because kinetic and energy damage attacks are going to ignore a portion of the target's armor. And like I just said, most of your damage is going to be kinetic. So next we're going to go into utilities, right? And I do have the pub names for utilities and abilities for you guys, because I love y'all. So starting out, we have Kim-resistant inlays. That's just going to be a basic 5% damage reduction, which is really nice considering that you don't have a amazing DCD, like a Saber Ward or a Deflection. So it's pretty nice. Pub side, it's called Scar Tissue. Next we have Slip Away, which is this, and it's going to reduce the cooldown of your hard stun by 15 seconds. Pair that with your set bonus with the 2 hard stuns. You get like a 27-second hard stun cooldown for just 1 charge, which is pretty amazing. That's faster than you have your DCD up. And pub side, it's called Dirty Escape. Then we got Precision Instruments. Sorry guys, it's like 4 AM. I can't fucking talk right now. And pub side, it's called Supplemented Med Pack. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. My bad. Anatomy Lessons is what it's called. Pub side. Sorry about that. And this is going to reduce the cost of Debilitate and Sever Tendon by 5. But what you really want it for is the Sever Tendon root for 2 seconds, which is really nice against Sorks in particular. And later on in the video, if I get to editing this, I'm going to show exactly why you can just shut down a Sork so easily. So next in Masterful, now we have Fortified Colto, which is Supplemented Medpack Pub side. So when you have your Colto probes, which is your hots on yourself, your damage reduction is increased by 3% per stack, so it's 6% total because it stacks up to 2 times, right? Plus the flat 5% DR, which is going to give you an 11% DR. So look at your DR right now. That's like 33%. It's really good for a class that has off heals, of its own. Next we have Evasive Screen. Pub side, it's called Skedaddle. And this is just going to give you 2 seconds of an evasion when you stealth out. I do believe it clears your dots when you stealth out, but I'm not quite sure. But I'm pretty sure force damage can get you out of that stealth. But I would have to test it. That's probably something I will do with my force-bound testing series that I'm going to be doing. If you guys don't know about that, I'm going to be testing every class that I play, like in every spec that I play against force-bound, and see what still hits and what does not hit. Alright, so next we're going to have Cunning Competencies, pub side called Dirty Trickster. That's your countermeasures root purge, and when Sleep Dart wears off on your target, they have reduced damage dealt by 50% for the next 10 seconds, which is pretty nice, because you can open with your Sleep Dart, and then that way, and you don't even have to fill up their white bar immediately, because you have a couple different routes, and you can roll away to avoid damage and stuns and stuff. That's really fun. So next we have the 2 most important utilities for Operative and Scoundrel. It's called Evasive Imperative. Pub side, it's called Scramble. Every time you're attacked, your cooldown for your evasion is going to be reduced. It can't occur more than every 1.5 seconds, but and this counts for dots as well, I believe. You're basically gonna have evasion on cooldown like every 30 seconds. Like its base cooldown is a minute, but you're gonna have it like every 30 seconds, dude. It's amazing. And then you pair that with Blow for Blow. In pub side, it's called Back Atcha. So that's going to make your evasion reflect 150% of single target tech and force damage. And the great thing about that is you're already getting 200% white damage, like dodge chance basically for that 3 seconds. So basically you're gonna dodge all white damage, single target, and you're going to reflect all single target force and tech damage. So for those 3 seconds, you're basically invincible unless someone hard stuns you. And in this game, not a lot of people are, smart enough to think of that. So, I mean, I guess you can AoE people with, like a force or tech AoE, but, AoEs are not going to really go through it that much. At that point, you'd be better off, sapping or, stunning someone or mezzing, whatever. So now on to, I want to show you an optional point first. It's called Revitalizers. And pub side, it's called Surprise Comeback. So this makes your stim boost give you some damage reduction and 5% of your health every 3 seconds, and reducing the damage received by 20% for the duration. That's the DR. So every 3 seconds, how long does this last? 15 seconds, right? 3 times 15, you do the math. So this one is good on paper, right? This utility. So if you pop your stim boost, your DR, you get the heals, and you're already getting, alacrity from it. And then you pop tactical overdrive to, do it again. Well, that's kind of more like a raid point, honestly, to me. I don't find revitalizers practical for PvP, because when I'm using tactical overdrive, I'm using it to reset my volatile substance so I can get a hard swap off. I'm not using it for defense because of this point. Augmented shields. It's called Hotwire Defenses Pub Side. It's going to make your shield probe absorb 30% more damage. So no one knows what the base rate of that is. Yeah. So like the base absorb, it says here, is like 30k damage, right? No one knows what the base like percentage is for it, and you can't. I don't think you can check it. Yeah, you can't check it there. See, which is weird that you can't check. Your that. But as you can see, this comes off of cooldown every 30 seconds. Now, there's another point you could take up in Masterful Med Shield. It makes your shield probe give you 5% of your maximum health when it goes off of you. But that's honestly about the same amount of health that you're getting from your probes every second or so. So it's not even worth taking that point unless you wanted to knock down the cooldown of it. Or does that even? What point is that? Oh, this point, yeah. Yeah, escape plan reduces your CC break, your shield probe, and infiltrate by. Yeah. So you could take that point, but I don't really want to. So now we're going to go into some of your abilities. Actually, all of them, not some of them. Some people don't have all their abilities on their bar, and that disgusts me. You need to have all your abilities for every situation, okay? So we're going to start off with your basic attack, which is your rifle shot. Pub side, it's called Flurry of Bolts. That's just your basic attack. You can attack people with this at a 30-meter range. If you just want to clown on them and get a kill. That's just pretty fun, but as we'll see later, there are a couple of better options for range. Then you got your exfiltrate. Pub side, it's called Scamper. Now this is different on the DPS specs of Operative. As Concealment, which is what we are right now, you get Evasion as that role. But as Lethality, you get a, not insta-proc, but you get a buff for an insta-proc for your next Colto Infusion down here. Now your next ability is Veiled Strike. This is a tactical advantage builder, which is like your main resource pull other than your energy on Operative, and it's going to be your first attack after you get your volatile substance, which I'm going to explain here in a minute. So when you have tactical advantage, you can pop your lacerate, and that's kind of your main filler spam, but it does a decent amount of DPS. Now, the better option for range that I was talking about, if you don't have your volatile on them to pop a dart, you can pop your grenade here, and that's like a little 19k crit hit there. That's pretty nice for knocking someone down at the end of their health. So next, you got your... Oh, I haven't been saying the names of pubside. Sorry about that. Veiled Strike pubside is called Bludgeon. Lacerate is Sucker Punch, and this is Frag Grenade here, and then Thermal Grenade pubside. Next, you got your Debilitate. Pubside's called Dirty Kick. That's your hard stun. It's on a super short cooldown with our utilities and set bonus at 27.2 seconds, and you get 2 charges of it, so you can be really annoying, especially when you're resetting Tactical Overdrive. Now your next attack is Volatile Substance. I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can pop it. You can pop it with Veiled Strike instantly. Once it comes off a cooldown here, I'll show it with a couple different options. And I'll show you a Corrosive Dart while I'm doing this. So do that, and then if you're at like a 30-meter range, your target's trying to kite away from you. Oh, it fell off. Dang it. Well, that's not fun. Okay, well, I'm gonna do this again. You popped it on them, they're kiting away. For this example, I'm gonna kite away, but see, boom, and it's gonna pop off on them for like a decent chunk of their health. It's very nice. There are 3 other ways you can pop your volatile, right? You can also pop it with your backstab. I clicked that because I'm holding my phone in my other hand, which I would normally move with. But backstab is not the way we're going to pop it now. That it was there for the old rotation, but currently it's not there for that. You can also pop it with Noxious Knives, right there. And then you can also pop it with your Toxic Haze, which I call Fart Cloud. And I'll get to those abilities in a minute. I call it Fart Cloud because it just looks like a stinky like cartoon like green gas cloud, I guess is the best way to describe it. So let me build up a Veiled Strike here. And we're gonna pop a Toxic Haze down, and it'll take a second to pop it, but it does. So yeah, you can pop your volatile, but the primary way is with Veiled Strike and then a backstab followed up by that. But you can do it at range with Corrosive Dart. Then if you're in a crowd, Noxious Knives and Toxic Haze. Now your next ability is Adrenaline Probe. You might actually need to hit that sometimes, because if you're just going ham on the DPS, you're going to be losing energy, which, as I said earlier, that's why I have the 10% alacrity. You got your Escape, which is your CC break, your Coordination, which is your buffs. By the way, Volatile Substance pubside's called Blood Boiler. Corrosive Dart is Vital Shot. Adrenaline Probe is Cool Head, and Coordination is Lucky Shots. Now we're going to go into your Hollow Traverse, and I'm going to go into a little situation stuff with this. This is also called Trick Move pubside. So you can use this for enemy and friendly leaps, but it has a high chance of failing because of the way the game is built, sadly. But it's one of the best kiting moves in the game. And you can combo this with all your tools and rolls for maximum kiting. So I'm gonna go ahead and use one of these friendly targets as an example, right? You're over here, you're DPSing, you're doing your thing, and you see like this guy coming in, and you're just like, nope, I'm out of here, and then you can do that, and then keep kiting away, which is pretty good. And it could be used on enemies and friendlies, but it does have a pretty long cooldown. There's a utility somewhere down here that, yeah, that one. that makes it usable while you're rooted, but there are just other important things down there that are too important to pass up on. Now your next move is your backstab, which I've already shown off. Pub side, it's called backblast. This is going to be an auto crit in this build because of the way that volatile substance tactical works. So basically, I'm going to show it off to you. So normally you have to be behind the target to use it, right? Well, when you use, once that pops off of there, yeah. So when you use your veiled strike right after popping your volatile, you get an auto crit backstab that does big damage, as you can see. That's very nice. It's kind of like your main burst in this spec as an auto crit. And it's an auto crit every time. It's not one of those silly once a minute things. It's every single time. So like, when an operative is putting their volatile on you, you're popping a defensive or you're getting the hell out of there. Because you don't want to get, smacked. And if you're in a hard stun, well, you're done. Bye-bye. But yeah. And then you got your crippling slice, which is a complete root. Target is completely rooted for a couple seconds there. And best way to use that honestly is before you go in, like for your burst, like say you're moving in on someone over here, pop your volatile on them, sneak up behind them, do this, and then pop them with your burst, and then once they're out of it, you can hard stun them. You can keep going on your burst. Oh, you could reset tactical overdrive if you want to, but I'm not about that. I save that for like a crazy situation that I need to reset it in. And then you got your tendon blast, or sever tendon imp side, which is now a root with a utility that we took right here. It's called tendon blast pub side. Your target can still turn during this, which is unfortunate because it's supposed to be a root, but it's really good against kiting targets like Sorks or like a Merc that does not have their hydraulics, and it's pretty good to draw out hydraulics. Because a Merc is just gonna try to use the same moves on you over and over again, and you can just draw out their stuff by using that. Alright, so then we got your Noxious Knives, which, as we said earlier, can pop your volatile substance, but it's really not worth it unless you're trying to spread in a crowd. And Noxious Knives is just garbage on concealment, honestly. I would never use it, basically. I hardly ever use it. It's so bad. It doesn't even slow anyone. Like the next ability, Toxic Haze. By the way, Noxious Knives pub side is Lacerating Blast. So now we're onto our Toxic Haze, which is our Fart Cloud. Pub side, it's called Bushwhack. But pub side, I think it's more like a competitive game of spoons. If you ever see someone like laying down like the knives and spoon looking things, you'll know what I mean. So basically, let me build up a TA here. You have to have a TA to use it. It's a massive AoE slow. So look at this AoE effect, dude, right here. It's gonna slow him down a good bit. And honestly, it's gonna be good for cleaving, just fluffing your numbers up a little bit. On concealment, because most of the time you're doing single target damage. But it's actually a really good peel to help out like a healer or a teammate that's being chased by a bunch of people. You can drop that down. You're fluffing your numbers anyway if it's on multiple people, but it's also going to help out your teammate because it's going to slow down the people chasing them. Alright, so next we got Tactical Overdrive. So this resets your Stim Boost, Volatile Substance, and Shield Probe for this spec. It also resets Lethal Strike for Lethality and Recuperative Nanotech for the Healer spec. So, it's stim boost, shield probe, volatile substance. If I used all that stuff, I could just have a field day on someone, right? Boom, boom. And then what's this? Oh, let me reset it, get my defensive back up, keep going in on someone, which is pretty insane. Then you got your stim boost. That's stim boost. Yeah, tactical overdrive. See, it's 4 in the morning, guys. I'm sorry if I'm like bumbling. It's called Hot Streak Pub side. It also gives you a mastery boost. Now, stim boost is going to be a TA builder, and it's going to give you a little bit of alacrity. With revitalizers, it does some cool stuff, but as I explained earlier in the video, I personally don't think it's worth it in PvP. It's not practical at all. Now you got your toxic scan, which is a cleanse. It's gonna only cleanse like tech and physical effects from you, like not dots, just debuffs. Let's see. Then you got your well, I can't use it, resuscitation probe, which you're probably not going to be able to use in PvP anyway. But your cleanse is called triage pub side. Then your revive here, resuscitation probe is called heart rigor patch pub side. But the reason it's not going to work in PvP is because everyone's clicking revive so fast, so they don't get flagged. Excuse me. So next we're gonna go on down to this row. I know I'm saving this stuff for last. That's just the way I do my guides. You got your countermeasures, right? So you find yourself rooted, and you have a roll or reflect or not, I guess reflect, but you have like a teammate or someone that you're in range to hold a traverse to, and you have a roll up, but you're rooted. You can pop this, break your root, get a little bit of speed, zip over there. Or if you're coming, away from your enemy, just, break your root and come over here. And get back in range of your teammates or hide around a pillar or something. This is also a threat lowering thing in PvE, but we're here for PvP, obviously. And pub side, it's called Surrender. It's a pretty cool animation on Gunslinger. But I don't like it on Scoundrel, because I just don't like Scoundrel in the first place. Alright, give me a drink real quick. We're going to talk about Shield Probe next, but I need a drink. Okay, I'm back. Alright, now, so you got your Shield Probe, right? So, you can spam this every 30 seconds, and with this utility here, Augmented Shields, this is really going to increase your survivability, because if you're not rolling around and keeping your Culto Probes on yourself, you're just a target for a hard stun at any time, alright? So if you feel some damage coming your way, don't be afraid to pop that bad boy, because that's really going to help you out. And surviving for 30 seconds, like rolling around, healing, hiding, kiting, really easy. And that way you can just kind of build yourself back up. Then you got your Adrenal, obviously. This is, you combine it with your Shield Probe for when the big hits are coming and you don't have like a Reflect or something ready, or a roll. Then you got your Distraction, which is a very nice 10-meter interrupt. I love it. Your Shield Probe is called, where is it? Defense Screen. And then Distraction is just Distraction, pub side. Next you got your Culto Probe. You can use it on yourself or your allies. When it's on yourself, obviously you get that DR from this point. Combined with this point, you get that 11% DR. And as you can see, it's proccing my relics fairly regularly. This is the reason that I run Mastery and Crit Relic, so I can pop those relics as much as off. See, look, Crit Relic's up, 49% crit chance. Amazing. We're just gonna keep popping this until we get our Mastery Relic up. The reason that you really want to keep your probes up mainly is for the DR, but secondarily it's, so your relics, keep popping, which is absolutely amazing in this spec. So we got our Mastery now. We're at 44% crit chance. Yeah, and then we got your Culto Infusion. So you have to have a TA for this. We're just going to pop Stem Boost. You can use it on yourself or your teammates, and it's a dummy thick heal. You get it, because it's not a training dummy, and he's kind of thick. It's 4 AM, don't hate me. But yeah, one thing I really like to do, here, let me build a TA real quick. I like to roll away and pop it on my teammate, then roll away, pop some probes on, which I'm wasting my own rolls to save my teammates. But Operative is definitely a class that has the best off heals for your teammates. Second best, I'd say, is Merc, and then last is Sork, because Sork has to cast it, and it's really unfortunate, whereas Merc gets an insta-cast once they've used 3 Tracer missiles for their rail shot, or, their casted heal that's now instant. Oh man, it's getting cold in here all of a sudden, jeez. But yeah, Operative definitely has the best ability to off-heal their teammates. Lethality is a little better about off-heals because, they roll and they get the instant cast for Culto Infusion on their buddies, which is really nice for keeping people alive. But yeah, you can help out with your heals, with your healer, or if you're, playing with somebody, you can, like, low-key pocket off-heal them and keep them alive a little bit longer while you, pick targets and stuff with them. By the way, never do more than 2 operatives in a group. It's just cancerous. No one wants to do that. Or, I guess no one wants to go against it because it's absolute mayhem. You got your cloaking screen. This is going to give you 2 seconds of evasion with evasive screen here. Boom. Oh, I had lag for a second. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's going to give you a couple seconds of evasion, which is obviously your white damage. Now, I've not tested this, but I do believe that Force and Tech AoEs will draw you out of that, but I'm not sure because of the effect of where it says you can't be seen or whatever it is. So next, you got your diagnostic scan. Obviously, you can use it on yourself or your allies. I tend to use it when my probes are up and I don't have a TA for Culto Infusion, or if I've already used Culto Infusion and it's on cooldown. So, say, I'm healing Moskar over here, right? Because Moskar always needs heals because he gets focused a lot. I'm over here healing him, reset the probe, like a good healer should do. And then, once infusion's off a cooldown, if I have a TA still, I can pop it back on him. All the good stuff. Man, I've not been going over the ability names. Culto Probe is Slow Release Med Pack. Culto Infusion is Culto Pack. Cloaking Screen is Disappearing Act. And Diagnostic Scan is Diagnostic Scan. Now we got Infiltrate, which is called Smuggle. Pub side. You have to be stealth to use this. I don't really have any allies at the present moment, and it doesn't work on these guys, but it's a mass AoE stealth for your group. And this is not really super important for regs, but it's definitely very important for ranked. And this is one of the main reasons that I love having an operative healer on my team, so they can smuggle me in. Because obviously I'm a tank, main and fours. But I just love operative healers because they don't have basic personality like sword healers. Yeah, I said it. Get over it. But yeah. Then you got your sleep dart, which it's not going to show up on here, but that's going to sap the enemy for, I believe, 8 seconds, but possibly 6 seconds. I would have to have a live target for that. I could make a joke about it, but I'm really not going to, because it's 4 a.m. and I don't want to get like slammed with something. But yeah, sleep dart. So with which utility was it? This utility, when it wears off, your target's gonna have reduced damage dealt by 50% for the next 10 seconds. So you can take advantage of that by just only using your crippling slice and then like rolling away anyways, so that they can't get too much damage off of you. And then once it wears out, you can zip in there with Hollow Traverse or roll back in there and hard stun them. Reset your tactical overdrive with Volatile and just go off on them. Do whatever you gotta do. Okay, next. So this is a big one. Flashbang. This is your mez. Alright? It's different from the sniper flashbang, which I'm going to go over that in a different guide in the future. I'm still gearing my sniper. So sniper flashbang is 30 meters single target. It's kind of like a whirlwind for assassin and Sork. But this flashbang is more like the PT AoE taunt, as it goes to the AoE of your target. So like a Jug's Intimidating Roar. Oh, let me get out of stealth so you can see me. A Jug's Intimidating Roar is going to be around them like this, right? Sniper's Flashbang is going to be just whoosh. Whereas Operative's Flashbang is going to be around your target, which kinda is what makes it hard for me to use as a Jug main who's used to the area around me being the stun effect. But it just looks like this, and it's called Flash something pubside. Give me a second. Yeah, Flash Grenade. Yeah. It's not the best stun in regs, I guess, but if used properly in fours, can really make a difference. See, next you got your stealth, which is very self-explanatory. Then you got your evasion, and the red sparkly bits is my reflect. We went over that earlier in the video as to why it's so important. Alright, so now I'm going to go into the quick rotations, right? Before I show the rotation with the tactical, I'm going to take it off and show you the old rotation if you're leveling. So the old rotation for this was backstab, volatile, build strike, lacerate, filler, whatever you want to do. Build, lacerate. But now, get out of combat, put this back on. Now, oh, that was not what I wanted to do. Whatever. Now the rotation is, let me get out of combat again here. So you would pop them with your sleep dart, pop your probes on, volatile substance, crippling slice. This is just open on someone. Veiled, backstab, lacerate. At this point, you're hitting veiled strike again or whatever. If you don't want to hard stun them immediately, you can roll away or roll into the nearest wall to avoid whatever damage or hard stun they're going to try to put on you. That's something I forgot to mention. With Exfiltrate, you can avoid hard stuns if it's well timed enough, which most people are going to open with a hard stun anyways. But the really good players are going to confuse you and wait until you don't expect it. They're going to wait until you've used 2 of your rolls. That's why it's important to use one role at a time, unless you're in a situation where you really need to use that second role. But yeah, that was the quick rotation. So now I'm going to go into like class breakdowns, and if I get to editing this part of the video, I'm definitely going to put in some footage of me going against certain classes. So for Marauders, right? Rip, Carnage, and Anti-Marauders, you can literally just out-kite them, and then roll in, hard stun them, put your burst on them, roll away again, and it's pretty easy. Now things are pretty even between a good Fury Marauder and a decent Concealment Operative. Operative is always going to have the upper advantage against Marauders anyway, but Marauder, or Fury Marauder, has the tools to keep up with you. Because obviously they have a CC immunity and they have a second short range leap that they can use against you to immobilize you for a second so that you can't roll, which is Obliterate. And I'll go into that in a different video, because I think I'm going to be making a concentration Sentinel guide, because I actually really do enjoy playing Fury Marauder, but Cease already has a really good Marauder guide out there for all three specs that goes over the abilities and stuff. Now against Sorks, Rip, Madness, and Heal Sorks, okay? You're going to turn a Madness Sork and a Healer Sork into a Sadness Sork, alright? You can just bully them all day. Now, against regular Lightning Sorks, not using Elemental Convection, you can bully them pretty much too. But if their Lightning Sork is using Elemental Convection, right, they're going to straight up bully you, okay? You can still probably survive it if you kite well enough and, use your heals and stuff and, like, reflect. But the thing with that is, they're going to be spamming Chain Lightning on you, and you're going to be rooted. You're going to be a target for anyone to come and, just destroy because you can't roll when you're rooted. So if like a Sork and like a Jug or 2v1ing you, watch out for Elemental Convection specifically. But pretty much against Sorks, you can just roll whatever they're casting, like a Thundering Blast or like a Force Leech. You can just roll it, and you're good. Now against Jugs, I have a lot of footage of me just destroying, Flavor of the Month Vengeance Jugs, okay? Vengeance Jugs are so easy to counter as an operative that it's just not even funny. All you gotta do is just roll, wait for them to use, ED, flashbang them, because, oh, by the way, yeah, your flashbang will cancel your dots, which is really nice. Yeah, all you gotta do is roll, wait for them to use ED, flashbang them, kite out of the way for when they get out of it, if their ED is still up, and then come back, hard stun them, pop your burst, use tactical overdrive, reset it on them, and just clap their cheeks. So now against Rage, right? Rage Jugs can easily beat you, okay? They have the self-heals to do it. It's still possible to win against them, but they have the heals and the damage to do it. Against Tank and Skank Jugs, I would stay away from Tank Jugs in general because they're going to be really hard to kill. But I would especially stay away from Skank Jugs because a good enough Skank Jug can kill you 1v1. Okay, I've done it before. I'm a Skank main. I can do it. It's really hard to do, but it's possible, and it's going to be not worth your time to try to kill them. Just CC them, root them, run away, be like, nah, I'm not going to deal with this right now. You're bringing down my DPS. Now against Assassins, Rip Hatred, they can't really do anything to you. Obviously they can root you with Eradicate, but they're not going to be using Big Burst on you unless they're using Murderous Revelation, and most Assassins are just using Death Knell for all three specs, so I don't know. Tank Sins, no, too hard to kill. Don't even approach them. Just CC them out of the fight, root them, whatever you gotta do. Just don't like leave them for last, dude. Just oh my god, don't try to kill them. Now, Deception, Assassin, and Concealment Operative have always been the two most skill-based classes to play. They can always shut each other down depending on how well they're able to predict each other and how well they know what the other player is going to do beforehand. And from just lots of experience dueling, that certain class between Deception Assassin and Concealment Operative. I've got a couple clips of me shutting down Deception Assassins on my Operative, but I have more than a few clips of me shutting down a Concealment Operative on Deception Assassin. So it's a very even, it's very skill-based matchup. So like a good Deception Assassin is just gonna wait for you to use like at least one of your rolls and then try to low slash you so you can't use your second one. Get a quick hit on you, and then they're gonna try to like use what is it? Voltic Slash, and they're gonna see what you do in that one GCD. If you don't run away, they're gonna probably try to hit you again. But that's where you can mess with them and roll away on their big hit, because they were testing to see if you were gonna run away first or run away after that first GCD of being in the low slash. But yeah, you just gotta predict each other basically. Okay, so now against DPS mercs, it's a pretty even match as far as like kiting goes. Like mercs definitely have the tools to be annoying, and I think a good IO merc could even beat you as Concealment. But Arsenal mercs, unless they're like a god tier Arsenal merc that's been only playing Arsenal merc for like 50 million years, they should not beat you, okay? Arsenal is just way too weak right now to 1v1 anything besides like a freaking Skank Jug or like a Carnage Marauder. Like you just don't want to do it. Now, heal mercs are a big yikes. Everyone knows how tanky those, boys are. Like, don't even try it. Now, for PTs, I can't comment on that. I've not played against enough good PTs, that weren't in a group. They were just, single, like a 1v1 against PTs on my Operative. I've not, I can't really comment on, like, DPS PTs on that. A good, or like a tank PT, yeah, you probably want to stay away from it. Just don't do it. Now for snipers, rip Virulence, and rip Marksman snipers that use dumb tacticals with the established foothold set bonus, right? So you'd think that established foothold set bonus is good. I've seen people use that and insta ambush tactical with like full crit and get like 135k ambushes, right? But the thing is, my build in Sniper, I'm going to let you guys on a little secret. That's not the set bonus I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the Repositioner set so I can get that second roll for this good survivability, and so I can get that second instant ambush. And that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, Marksman Snipers that use like stupid tacticals, like the one that's like AoE, your suppressive fire gets a 10% buff. Like, I don't understand. I see Marksman Snipers using that, and I'm just like, what is wrong with you? But, it's regs, so it's whatever. And finally, against NG, that's a big yikes, because they're going to root you and stun you to all hell. No one's going to like it, and you just literally do not want to be in that position. That is everything for this guide, guys. Let me know what gameplay or guides you want to see next. I'm going to plan on doing a concentration sentinel guide here very soon. But I'm going to have a very busy week with school and work, so I may not get to it immediately, but I'm definitely going to try to. But with that being said, you guys have a great night. It's like 5 for me now. I'll probably be making this video for a good 40 minutes. I am going to head out, and you guys have a wonderful day. May the force be with you, and don't get corona.